I am also a numbers person. I know some agents don't like to look at their numbers because it could be discouraging for them, but when I look at my numbers and I'm not meeting my goals, it just motivates me more. I'm very competitive, but with myself. So when I set those goals, I want to meet them. I will put more work in if I am not where I am in a quarter that I need to be. So in 2022, I ended with 34 transactions and I had some rollovers to the new year already on the books, and I had some terminations. I had pipeline when I was going into 2023. And so I did just about 20 million in volume as an independent agent. Okay, so when I talk about numbers, the breakdown would be for me, what I've closed on, what I have on the books that's pending or contingent, what clients do I have actively looking, and also what do I need to do right now to get new clients. And that's how I focus. What I would advise an agent to do is, based on their earnings the year before, is to always put at least 10% aside for marketing, because that is the only way you're going to grow your business, is marketing, branding, and it goes from there. When I'm doing my budget every year, it just depends, what did I make the year before and what is the percentage that I could put away for marketing this new year. Because of course, when I started off 7 years ago, I had a very small budget, very small. But as my business grew, today, almost 7 years later, I sent out 2,500 postcards, but I'm still doing it since the day I started. So it is every 6 weeks, and it started off with 20 houses, 40 houses, 60, 200, 500. And now my budget allows me to send out 2,500 postcards every 6 weeks. So when I'm talking about putting aside a certain amount for my marketing, I'm also thinking, well, what did I do this past year that maybe didn't work out for me? So I'm going to cross that out and I may try something new. And what has worked for me, of course, I'm going to still be doing it. For example, I want to end up with 40 units this year. What does that mean for me? That means that every quarter I have to do 10 transactions. I have to have 10 closings. Now, it doesn't always work out perfectly, but if I have 6 one quarter, I possibly could make it up the second quarter. And if I'm short the second quarter, of course the third quarter a few, but if I don't do any the first quarter and do 5 the second quarter, I'm not on track to close 40 units. So what led me to eXp was, after spending 5 years at my previous firm, which was fantastic, of course I got my business off the ground there, always will be thankful, but I was at a point in my business where I just needed to get to the next step, and I was struggling a little bit, and this is how eXp came into play. I just wanted to be around bigger producers, bigger thinkers, and I loved the model. The model was for me because as I get older, I wanted different streams of revenue, and I was able to do that at eXp. Financial background, I want to set myself up for the future. So at that point, when I decided to transition, it took me a year. It wasn't, 1, 2, 3. It took me a year to move over to eXp, but when I made my mind, I was ready. And so that meant that being a numbers person, I had several different revenue streams that I could focus on, but most of all was to grow my business. And so what I have learned as I've gained more experience and my business is growing is that you want to surround yourself with agents who are doing more than you. So for example, if you're doing 0 to 25 transactions a year, you want to surround yourself with the agents that are doing 25 to 75. So you could see how they got there and how they're staying there. Great about eXp is how I could plug into huge masterminds. We have things like Fast Forward on Mondays. We have other masterminds that take place at different agents' offices. So I can plug into as many or as few as I'd like. The other thing that was very enticing for me is that you can become an icon agent within eXp and we get stock back. And so I'm thinking of my future, different revenue streams. So if I can get stock given to me by a company, I've won. And so when I transitioned over in 2021, in 2022, I became an icon agent within the first 8 months. And I have a lot of stock right now. And now I'm in my second year at eXp and I'm a few transactions away from becoming 2-time icon agent, so I'm thrilled.